Hello, you're very welcome back to my software journey, and in this screencast I'm just going to show you really quick of how my roulette games GUI actually works, and then I'm going to show you how to connect a GUI, how to create a GUI, and how to connect two pages via a button. So this is basically the startup screen of the app. You're going to have three options. You're going to have a login, you're going to have a sign up, and you're going to have an about. If we click about, it will get rid of this and it'll bring you to a new page, and it's going to tell you really quick about the game. And if you click return, it brings you back. So then the login and sign up options are very simple. The login, you just log into your account, you enter your username and password. I don't have the database set up for this yet, but when it does, you'll have to log in with the correct username and password. So then it just brings up your name here. It gives you the option to log off. It gives you the amount of funds you have. It gives you a chance to pay out. It gives you a chance to start the game, and it gives you a chance to enter your funds. So we're going to enter our funds, and I just have two options at the moment. You can add 50 cents or you can add 50 euro. So we're going to add 150 euro, and we'll just add 50 cents as well. Now we return, as you can see, it saves it to this screen and your name, and then you can hit the option to pay out. It brings up a little J option pane that tells you you've just paid out 150 or 50 cents, and then it resets the page and it gets reset to 0. Your name still changes, your name still stays the same though, and then you can log off and it tells you you've just logged out. So that's basically how the game's going to work. There's going to be another few pages added on, and it's going to be all connected through GUI. Now to show you how to create GUI, first you need to install the window builder plugin, which I'm not going to go through now, but as soon as you do that, you can just go File, New, and you're just going to go New Java Project. I'm just going to call this project GUI showed. Now, so this is just going to show you the GUI and how it works. So when we have that, now we have just going to right click on the GUI shown. We're going to go New. I want to have a package. And now we're just going to call this package. Now this is usually when you right click and you'd add your Java class, but after you have the plugin, you go into other and you have your chance to add your JFrame. Now your JFrame is where you're going to be creating your GUI. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to call this frame 1. So now once that's created, we're going to bring up to a design page. Well, a source page, which is where you're going to be doing your code, and your design page. Now the design page is going to give you many options to add to a GUI, but you're going to have to get the layout down first. And I'll just show you that really quickly once it loads. Now GUI is very useful if you want to add visuals to your app or to your application or software. I personally like it as it's very easy to code, as it does most of the code for how it looks itself. So this is basically where you're going to be creating your app, and it already starts out with a layout. It starts off with kind of a grid layout. So basically, if I was to get a button, I can't really put it anywhere. I'd have to put it in one of these sections. So in order to change that, we'll go down to layouts, and we'll need to get the absolute layout, so that gives you a chance to put anything anywhere. So we're just going to add that. So once it's added, we can get a button, and now we can put the button anywhere on the screen. So I'm going to put the button there. As I said, I'm going to show you how to connect two JFrames in this. So we're going to go New Frame. We're just going to enter that. So now in order to give this button a bit of code to run, first of all we're going to have to create the new JFrame that we're going to be linking to. So go back in the package, right click again and go New, and just repeat the process. You first one, go into JFrame, go next, and we're just going to call this frame 2. We're going to finish. So frame 2 should pop up here. That's perfect. So now we're going to go back into frame 1. Now in order to give this bit of code to run, we need to double click and it opens to your source file. So this is your J button. So this is basically creating your button. This is saying it's going to have an action, and the action performed is a click. So in here, in order to bring up the new frame, the first one I need to use is the dispose command, which just basically just gets rid of the frame 1. As soon as you press button, it deletes frame 1. And to bring up frame 2, we're going to use a bit of kind of like OOP, so I'm going to have frame 2. And we're going to have to give it a name, so F2 is equal to new frame 2. So now that this is disposing of your first frame, this is creating a new frame. But if you were to run this now, nothing will happen because you're creating a frame, but you're not saying that, oh, this should be seen. So in order to do that, we do F2 dot set. If it will load now, there we go, dot set visible. And once we have that, we need to give it a boolean, so we're going to go true. True. So now this is setting the visible to true. Now in order to see that it is going to the new frame, we're going to go into the design page of frame 2. I'm going to add a button as well. But first we add absolute layout, and then the button. And this of course is going to go back old frame. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to this one, but instead of going into frame 2, we're going to go into frame 1. So you do the dispose command. I'm going to go frame 1 F1 is equal to new frame 1. Then I'm going to go F1 dot set visible. That's not the right one. Set 1 dot set visible. I'll go true. So now this should allow us to go back and forth between frame 1 and frame 2. We're just going to run it now. I'm going to run from frame 1. So there you go. So this is, so we go new frame, brings up this old frame, new frame, old frame. And that's basically how that will work. So if I just go into frame 1 just to make the button, so now